There are some faces we never forget. They came into our living rooms through the warm glow of the television. They looked up at us from the big screen, their eyes full of promise. They were young, they were talented, and they were ours. Tonight, we remember 6 American actors who touched our hearts as children and young adults and left us far too soon. Their stories remind us that fame cannot shield anyone from tragedy, but their work lives on. James Dean. James Byron Dean was just 24 years old when he died. In his short career, he made only 3 major films, but those films changed American cinema forever. Most of us remember him best as Jim Stark in Rebel Without a Cause. He gave voice to a generation of young people searching for meaning, struggling against a world that didn't seem to understand them. He also earned an Academy Award nomination for East of Eden, and his final performance in Giant showed a maturity that hinted at the great actor he might have become. On September 30th, 1955, James Dean was killed in a car accident in California. He was driving to a race in Salinas. He never arrived. More than 60 years later, his name still means something. He remains the symbol of youthful restlessness, frozen forever at 24. Salvatore Mineo Jr. was one of the brightest young talents of the 1950s. Many of you will remember him as Plato, the troubled teenager in Rebel Without a Cause, the same film that made James Dean a legend. Sal earned his first Oscar nomination for that role. He was only 16 years old. He earned a second nomination for Exodus in 1960, playing a young Holocaust survivor. His sensitivity on screen was remarkable. As the years passed, Hollywood roles became harder to find. But Sal never stopped working. He moved to theater and continued pursuing his craft. On February 12, 1976, Sal Mineo was murdered outside his apartment in West Hollywood. He was 37 years old. The crime shocked the entertainment world. Today, he is often remembered alongside James Dean, 2 young rebels gone far too soon. Robert Cletus Driscoll was once the most famous child star in America. Walt Disney himself signed Bobby to a contract when the boy was just 9 years old. He became Disney's golden child, appearing in Song of the South, Treasure Island, and giving voice to Peter Pan in the beloved 1953 animated film. In 1950, Bobby received a special Academy Juvenile Award for outstanding performance by a child actor. But as Bobby grew older, the roles disappeared. Hollywood, as it so often does, moved on. The boy who taught a generation to believe in Neverland found himself forgotten. Bobby Driscoll died alone in New York City in 1968. He was 31 years old. His body went unidentified for more than a year. It is a heartbreaking end to a story that began with such magic. Brandon deWilde became a star before he turned 10 years old. In 1953, he appeared in the classic Western Shane, playing the young boy Joey Starrett. His final line in that film, calling out for Shane as the gunfighter rides away, is one of the most remembered moments in American cinema. Brandon was nominated for an Academy Award for that performance. He was just 11. He continued acting into adulthood, appearing in films like HUD alongside Paul Newman. He also worked in television and on stage. On July 6, 1972, Brandon deWilde was killed in a car accident in Colorado. He was only 30 years old. For those who loved Westerns in the 1950s, he remains forever young, a boy standing in the doorway, calling out into the distance. Anissa Jones was just 6 years old when she became a star. From 1966 to 1971, she played Buffy on the CBS series Family Affair. With her pigtails and her beloved doll, Mrs. Beasley, she won the hearts of millions of American families. We watched her grow up, week after week. She was part of our Thursday evenings, part of our routines. But when the series ended, Anissa struggled to find her place. The transition from child star to young adult proved difficult, as it has for so many. On August 28, 1976, Anissa Jones died from an accidental overdose. She was just 18 years old. Her passing was a shock to everyone who had watched her grow up on screen. She had barely begun her adult life. Today, she is remembered with tenderness, a little girl who brought comfort to American living rooms during uncertain times. Judith Barsi was a rising star with a voice that touched hearts. Though she appeared in television commercials and shows like Growing Pains, she is best remembered for two animated roles, Ducky in The Land Before Time and Anne-Marie in All Dogs Go to Heaven. Her cheerful voice brought joy to children around the world. When Ducky said, "Yep, yep, yep," it was Judith speaking. Tragically, Judith's life at home was not as bright as the characters she portrayed. On July 25, 1988, Judith Barsi died at the age of 10, the victim of a terrible tragedy within her own family. Her story is difficult to speak of, but her voice, her gentle, hopeful voice, continues to bring happiness to new generations of children who watch those films today. She deserved so much more. 6 lives, 6 extraordinary talents, all taken before their time. James Dean at 24, Sal Mineo at 37, Bobby Driscoll at 31, Brandon deWilde at 30, Anissa Jones at 18, and little Judith Barsi at just 10 years old. They gave us performances we still remember. They became part of our American story. And though they are gone, they are not forgotten.